The Saint Jean du Gard Col Saint-Pierre Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patreon, Leap Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
Racing for Green. Trees Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Here, the first round here on the Col Saint-Pierre in France. It's great to be along with you here today. A great course in front of us to kick off our 12-round season for 2021. Very much looking forward to your company this evening and indeed throughout the events all this year. My name's Ewan O'Leary and I'll be taking you through the next couple of hours of racing that we'll have here tonight. So, round one of our season. We're about 20 minutes away from the first proper runs being actioned in this session. At the moment, we are in qualifying, which sets the start order for our hill climb here today. At the moment, Ludovic Furry is currently leading, and he has set a time about 2.5 seconds quicker than Sebastien Ronat in two of the very, very fastest cars, the prototype cars, I guess, if you want to call it that, here this weekend, or tonight, should I say. Yeah, very much looking forward to bringing this one to you. As I said, the actual runs start very shortly, in about 20 minutes. But while we're kind of waiting for that to happen, I guess I can take you through some of the little bits of rules and things that we know going into this first round here tonight, just to kind of bring you up to speed with what we're expecting to see. So, yeah, first of all, I guess it's a good idea to talk about the course which we have in front of us here today. As it's the Col Saint-Pierre in France, in the Massif Central mountain range in the Occitanie region, which is kind of in the middle to the east, sort of France. It's 5 kilometres here today. It's been a little bit longer in the past, actually, this particular hill climb. It was 200 metres longer than it is today, but they shortened it for the 2016 event, and so now it is ever so slightly over 5 kilometres in length, 6.6% of an average up the hill, which means they gain 346 metres in a matter of minutes. It really is very, very impressive to see these guys rocket up here, and we finish at about 575 metres above sea level, which is one of the lower ones actually that we will see. I know that next round, at the very least, when we go to the Rechberg in Austria, we're going to be finishing at nearly 1,000 metres, so it is fairly low down, I guess. In 2019, there wasn't an event here, there wasn't a hill climb here in 2020, and I'm sure you can work out the reasons for yourself why, but Christian Nelly won in 2019, and so yeah, we'll be hopefully seeing one in 2020 as well, but there was it's been postponed this year, so we'll hopefully see some racing on the Col Saint-Pierre this year, but we'll wait and see. Obviously, restrictions impending, I guess, as with most things these days. The nearest city to this course as well is just 25 kilometres to the east. It's Alès, which is not very far away from where we're racing today. So yeah, these guys are going to be having 3 runs here tonight, setting off between 30 seconds and 1 minute in intervals, so it's going to be coming at you pretty thick and fast here tonight, and we'll try and get a look at all of the different cars that we have on show, and there are some spectacular machinery on show, and some great sounds as well that we'll hopefully be able to bring to you. I'll be going quiet a couple of times at least throughout, so we can hopefully get a full hill climb on board with one of these guys to hear the engine sounds and to really watch these guys at work, because it really is quite spectacular to watch. But despite the fact we have 3 runs here tonight, only the best 2 actually count in this one, so yeah, you don't need to nail all 3, I guess. Just 2 out of 3 will get you the victory, as I'm looking at one of the first prototype, or the first looks at one of the prototypes I have had so far here tonight, the number 109 car. Trying to work out who's driving at the moment, but there's a lot of cars on the... Oh, it's Ludovic Farou leading at the moment. There it is, in the Osella FA30. There you are. Very, very nimble car indeed, as you might be able to imagine. 2 minutes 7.7 at the moment is the best time, and I guess we can go on board with him at the moment. Waiting for him to set off, engine revving, and he'll be getting ready in a moment. Here at GTR 24H, by the way, we did know a fair amount about Ludovic Farou. He drives in our AEWC championship for One Move Esports. He's been up there in the first 3 races of the season, which have happened so far, and yeah, we know he is a fantastic driver. We'll be able to watch him over the next 2 minutes or so as he climbs up the Col Saint-Pierre for the next couple of moments. This car got a 3-litre Zytec V8 engine in, kicking out 475 horsepower and nearly 400 newton meters of torque as well, which is really quite a crazy amount. Doesn't weigh very much at all either, only 575 kilos, very nearly the lightest car that we actually have on show here tonight. That goes to the Tatas Formula car, the Formula Master, which is going to be driven by Chris Bennett in this one. He's currently 7th in the order, about 30 seconds away from the man we're on board with right now, but they're not expected to be competing with each other. That one's only 560 kilograms, which is very, very light indeed, but you can see right now this is really spectacular stuff from Ludovic Farou. going through here. The opening part of this section is really technical. The opening part of the course, it does get a little bit faster. I believe we might be about to start that point now, and you can see really starting to get the speed up, flicking it into this turn. Look at this right now. The downforce on this car is quite staggering. The fourth gear corners really chucking it in close to the barriers as you like. Goodness me, it does make you want to almost cringe a little bit as you go into the corners, because you think he's moments away from disaster at almost every opportunity. But controlling the car beautifully at the moment. And just in the second part of the course, a little bit faster now. But no less spectacular, certainly. And through third gear corner, a little flick to the left and then the right, and it opens out again in front of him. And another chicane. It is really left and right. There are no real long corners and switchbacks. It's mainly, well, not really chicanes, but certainly technical lefts and right. He's actually catching somebody here as it goes over the line. And yeah, catching one of the slower cars. That's why we have the intervals, by the way, as you're probably aware. That's exactly why we have the intervals, just to make sure these guys aren't tripping over each other at all as they go along here. A big welcome to everybody, by the way, who's in the YouTube chat or wherever you're watching from here tonight. It's good to have you all along. And yeah, I'm glad to have you all here at the moment. As yeah, a bit of an off-track moment for somebody we were just on board with there. But I wasn't watching, I was reading the YouTube chat, welcoming everybody along. I know Mark Best has been tuning in. He's currently third in the standings, by the way, in the Norma, number 160. Also, yeah, loads of different drivers are in the YouTube chat. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you and say hello. Currently, we've got around 32 drivers in qualifying at the moment, but as we've already, well, I might not have already mentioned, I've forgotten, but you don't have to qualify. It is optional, but it does give you the correct or the ideal track space for this one, I guess, in the actual heats when these guys will be actually setting their times here. It does help me out, because obviously we do have the real track. Well, I was going to call it track evolution, but that's not really the right term, is it? But the road evolution, the track will rubber in, the road will rubber in, excuse me. And yeah, it definitely does benefit you to be going last in this one. Oh, that was close as well to the wall. With the man we are on board with right now, I believe this is Mark Best in the Norma. Very close to the wall again. These guys, I feel like we'll be saying that quite a lot here tonight. Getting a little bit out of shape as well through the left-hander. Fairly forested as well, actually. You do get a lot of rain in this part of the world, even though it does get scorchingly hot as well. On some summer days, the tarmac does begin to almost melt and peel off of where it should be. But not really any of those kind of issues at this time of year. We do have the live weather as well, and I do believe that we could have rain if indeed it is raining there in real life, but it's not right now, as there's a bit of an accident with the man we were on board with, crashing into one of the cars already stopped out there on the course. Yeah, we'll just put the weather radar on, excuse me, for a second, just to give you an idea of what the weather is actually doing on the Col Saint-Pierre at the moment. And as you can see, not really a drop of rain anywhere. As I mentioned, we're in the Occitanie region of France here today, the very southeast of the Massif Central, which is kind of the smallest mountain range you can find in France, or one of the smaller ones anyway. And we'll be climbing for 5 kilometres today up the Col Saint-Pierre. As you've already seen, it really is a sight to behold. Already going to go on board with one of the Mitsubishis at the moment, following a Volkswagen Corrado. There's only 2 of them, so it's got to be one or the other. Either David Kachev of Bulgaria or Nick Kosekidis. Excuse me. Apologies for the names, by the way, the pronunciations. I'll promise to get better at them. But for the moment, I've not quite got them down. So yeah, they're in the E1 2000 class. And yeah, over 300 horsepower for those guys at 880 kilograms in weight. Just pulling up to the starting order now. And one of the Mitsubishis just behind them. A fair amount of Mitsubishis actually. I believe that is the most used car. This is the number 106 example. Currently trying to find them on the leaderboard. I can't for the moment, so you have to hold on for that one. Yeah, we've got 6 Mitsubishi Evo 4s in this one. Maybe 7. No, 6. I did count right the first time. 6 of these guys in here tonight. 2-litre turbocharged engines and over 600 horsepower, over 600 torque as well. Very, very powerful. And I can imagine very well suited to these kind of horses as well. Pretty short gears, especially compared to when we were on board with Farouk not so long ago. He really was going through the gears quite quickly, so a little bit shorter on the Mitsubishi. All of these cars, by the way, have 6-speed sequential gearboxes. However, there is one with a 5-speed gearbox. There's only one car without 6-speed gearbox, so it's got 5. 4 of these examples as well. The BMW E36 Judd, the 3.5 litre inline 6 engines. Very, very cool to see those on the grid. One of my favourite looking cars that we actually do see here tonight. I hope we will get a nice shot of one. I'm sure we will as we go through tonight. Qualifying is about just under 10 minutes from its completion. On board with Mitsubishi still. Really is a question of trying to get as close to these walls as possible. The bank on the right hand side as well, dancing on the knife's edge, just trying to get a little bit better position for the heats. As we've seen already tonight, actually, we've seen a couple of guys off the road already, and the kind of thing we come to expect, really. It's very, very tricky, as a little bit deep into that left-hander there on the 106. Oh, a little bit wrong as well, getting it a little bit wrong with the braking through that little left-right sequence, and continues to climb through these chicanes. Got to be getting towards the end of this run now, going under the banner very shortly. There it is, out of the final right-hander, and over the line again. A fairly large queue now, actually beginning to get itself in a bit of, well, not queue jumping, but a bit of a traffic jam in front at the moment. It's the 134 Renault 8 Gordini, a fantastic looking car, by the way, this one. It's not the 134, I was just reading a number that was on there. That's not the right number. Sorry, it's the number 200 of Julian Delage, who's driving that Renault at the moment. And I have spotted him in the leaderboard already. He's 13th. And by the way, the man we were on board with just a moment ago, the 106 Mitsubishi, driven by Andreas Valleas of Greece, I believe, anyway. Is that the team name? I'm pretty sure it's the driver name, so I'm getting a bit confused, as you can imagine. Oh, a little bit wide from Delage into the hairpin. As I mentioned, 13th at the moment with a 2 minutes 41.8. It's 1.4 seconds down on the car in front, Frederic Tescher in the 151. Also driving one of those Mitsubishi Evos we were watching a moment ago. It's very, very populated in that section of the leaderboard. Going to be getting a lot of onboards for you tonight, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully we'll be enjoying the course as much as possible. This is part of the Group H special category, by the way, the Renault 8 Gordini. Not even 300 horsepower in this car, but a lot of fun by the looks of it. Looks like fantastic fun to throw around. Only 2 Renaults on the grid, by the way, and both of the Italia racing team. Julian Delarge's alongside Carmelo Stagno of Italy. They're both driving the Renault. Number 200 and number 201. Right, we're 5 minutes away from qualifying's end, so hopefully we will be seeing the actual sessions going on in a few moments' time. And before we get there, we're just going to take a quick commercial break. So we'll be back in a few moments' time. When we return, the first runs will be happening from the Col Saint-Pierre in the first round of the European Hill Climb Championship.
The Saint Jean Bougard Col Saint-Pierre Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Leap Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Welcome back to the first round of the European Hill Climb Championship for 2021. We're on the Col Saint-Pierre in France, and we're not too far away from the first round of runs up the hill from actually commencing. We're very, very close to the end of qualifying, and then the grid order will be set, and we will see that... train of thought's gone out of my mind. We'll see the grid order set, and then we'll see the first drivers out there in the not too distant future. As you can see, there is quite a traffic jam going on at the back end of the pit lane order. Everybody wanting to get that last little bit of practice in. This is the number 27 Opel GTE Psycho. Fantastic looking car. Just look at that. Looks like a Group C car, maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. Not a Group C car, sorry. What's the word? Group A? Group B? I don't know. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But anyway, it looks pretty special anyway. We are changing session now anyway. So yes, we can get into the real deal now. And hopefully we will catch as much of the action as we possibly can for you. However, it can be tricky. And just a word as well to everybody watching on at home, if you are watching and would like to follow a little bit more closely what's going on out there on the circuit. We do have timing at timing.gtr24h.org. At the top of your screen, you should see a button that says Hill Climb. Just press on that one, and you'll be able to see the live timing from this session, which is about to begin in a very short amount of time. I've been informed by John, who is kind of directing things in terms of getting the order set up for this. I've been informed that the fastest car will be going first. The fastest in qualifying will be going first. And then the slowest car will be going last. So that, and that's the way the order will be. So it's going to be Ludovic Ferry is going to go first, we think. And if you indeed see Alex Schuber going off first, then you'll know it's the opposite way around. But we're pretty sure Ludovic Ferry is going off first. We'll wait and see. We've got 3 minutes until we begin to call the cars out. John Pappas, by the way, will be calling the cars out, not John, our John. John, who works behind the scenes of GT. We've got two Johns at the moment in the steward's room, and they're working together as a pair of Johns to work things out here tonight. And we're hoping things will be running nice and smoothly. But yeah, we're not too far away from getting these guys underway. We've got, by the way, just trying to look, 34 cars on the grid. But while we're waiting, I guess we can have a look at some of the cars, because there are, as we've already mentioned, there are some really, really quite spectacular machines on show. Yeah, Ludovic Ferry is driving the Osella FA50 at the moment. 475 horsepower from a 3-litre V8 engine, and not very heavy at all. 575 kilograms. We've already seen that car is very, very light as well. Not the lightest, as we've already seen, but certainly very, very light indeed. I'm trying to find the most powerful car on the grid right now. I believe that it is. Let me just find it. I believe that it's the Audi S1 driven by Philotheus Argyru of Germany. I don't know if he's here today though. He is on the entry list, but I don't know if he's here. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. Yes. That is the most powerful car. 770 horsepower for that car. Absolutely insane amounts. Not the road car going version of the Audi S1, by the way, because if you just put into that into Google, then you don't see a very spectacular car, but I believe it's the Quattro version, maybe, that kicks out 770 horsepower. That's the most powerful. And the least powerful is the lightest at the same time, the Tate's Formula Master car, driven only by Chris Bennett in this one. And he's the only E2 SS2000 car on show. We do have a fair few E2 SC SS3000 cars. They are the prototype more looking ones, either the Ocello FA30 I've already talked about, or the Norma M20 FC, which has the same engine in it. But interestingly, according to my numbers, 15 less horsepower and 8 less torques. So I don't know how they've managed that, but they've got the same engine in. However, and the Norma's a little bit heavier as well, so on paper it doesn't seem as strong. We did have... Mark Best has gone all the way down to the bottom of the order. It remains to be seen in terms of the grid order, because that's just being set right now, and the cars will be called up very shortly. I'm trying to look at Ludovic Ferru at the moment to see if he is first. Pretty sure he is, but we've got a couple of minutes wait before we get underway. There we go. We'll be hopefully able to see when he pulls up to the starting grid. By the way, just to tell you how this works, if you've ever used R-Factor 2 before, or not ever driven in one of these events before, you'll notice that there's kind of a race chat thing, and that's very useful to us here at the European Hill Climb Championship. It's a way of calling up the drivers, and so eventually, when the time comes, Ludovic Ferru will be called up, and he'll be able to take his position on the starting line. And then in 30-second or 1 minute intervals, I'm not entirely sure which is which and what decides what, and all of the details like that. It's not really up to me to decide those kind of things, but it's they're called up one by one, and they'll be able to go out on their own and have a lap. And then it's the best two that count. There'll be 3 runs here tonight. We'll be able to see all these cars on show 3 times. The best 2 will count. Now, things do get very, very interesting indeed. In some of the rounds, for roughly half, we'll have 3 runs again, like we'll have in 2 weeks' time at the on the Rechberg, which is in Austria. We'll have 3 runs, but all 3 count. You cannot mess up on any of them. You know, if you do get something wrong in one of these runs here tonight, then, you know, it's okay, and you can save things. However, it's not possible to save it. You crash when all of them count. So, yeah, and there is indeed one that where only 2 runs count, and only the best one. That's round 7, which will be, I can tell you right now. I'll just get to the right part of the website. I can tell you anyway. The Coppa Paolino Teodori at the moment. Subject to change. Round 3 is subject to change, but I believe that's pretty much set in stone. Excuse me. That'll be on the 13th of September, or should be, for round 7. Here we go. Ludovic Ferru is finally going up to the order. As a 30-second waiting time for him, and he is off. So the first run of the European Hill Climb Championship for season 2021 is underway, and Ludovic Ferru is on the Col de Saint-Pierre. A little bit wide for that right-hander there, the hairpin coming up that you don't want to overshoot. There is a barrier on the outside that you would rather avoid. Very nice line as well from Ferru. Taking it a little bit deeper in to get a good exit, a good run down, a little bit of straight into another technical section. It is very technical at the start of this course. Fairly bumpy as well. The cameras are slightly strange in some places on this course. It does throw you off in various ways. As already, Sebastian Ronat is getting ready, but we're going to stay on board with, or I am going to stay on board with Ludovic Ferrut to see how this first run goes for the man from France. I've seen him do great things in the GT car for One Move Esports in the past as he gets onto the higher speed middle section of this course now, throwing it in left and right. Not much of a barrier to collect you on the left hand side sometimes as well. You can just throw yourself down the ditch and that'll be the end of that. I just need to be careful of that. Look at, oh, very close indeed. On the edge. Who was the fastest in qualifying by 3 seconds. He did actually improve, by the way, while we were on an ad break. He did get 1/10 better off than he was before. So that was very impressive. And he came in with 3 seconds over Sebastian Ronat, who is also out there at the moment. Getting a little bit more technical now as we get towards the end for Ludovic Ferrut. Really quite fantastic cars, these. And over the line he goes. What is the first lap time of the day going to be? Well, the first time, not lap time. It's a 2:09.0, which is about 1.5 seconds lower than what he did in the first part in qualifying. Mark Best is also on the course right now. He's just left. But we are watching Sebastian Ronat also in an Osella FA30. Equal machinery for both Ronat and for Ludovic Ferrut. Other driver in that car is Cyril Chery, who's also a French driver driving in the Osella. A little bit wayward from Ronat there. Just a little bit of a slide through those couple of corners. The number 137 is also on the course right now, Egos Andre. Over the line already as here he is actually, Egos Andre, not quite on the course just yet. There he is, he sets off now. Ronat comes in with a time of 2 minutes 13.396, which is 4.4 seconds slower than what we've seen before. Now the first chance we'll get to see now on board with Egos Andre of the nose camera for tonight. And yeah, you really do get a sense of speed with this one, and also a sense of how close the walls are. Well, this is not the same class, but as you may well have noticed, the 137 is not the same class as the two we've seen before. It's the E1 Plus 2000 class of the Mitsubishi Evo 4, as Mark Best also comes in with a bit of a slower time there, 10 seconds off of Ronat and 14 off of Ferrut, but this is only the first time and there are still 2 more to come from all of these guys. They're a very, very nimble car, especially for one with over 1,000 kilograms on board. Yeah, it looks like great fun at the moment. Tobias Baschendorf also on the course right now, number 153. Also driving the same car as we're seeing right now. We're on board with. And this is where we'll start to kind of compare these guys' times. It was very, very close in qualifying between these guys, and Egos Andre was just about able to take the top spot in that session. That's given him the best road position for this particular session. For the actual heats and for the actual lap times. The hill climbs up the Col Saint-Pierre. Now getting a little bit more technical. Although another section opens out in front of Andre at the moment. These guys will have done this hill climb hundreds of times at this point in practice for this event, and previously indeed as well, in previous seasons. So well versed as over the line goes the 137, Egos Andre, with a time of 2 minutes 35.2, and that is pretty quick indeed actually compared to some of what we've seen in the past. But George Malice is also out on the course at the moment, or slowing down. It looks like he's slowing down. Oh no, sorry, he's just going through a tight corner. Sorry, I thought he was slowing down to go to the start line for some reason. But here we are, the 153, also Mitsubishi Evo 4 at the moment, and not too far behind Egos Andre. Only a minute separate them on the road, but no chance of them crossing over, certainly. A little bit of a slide going through the left-hander, but looks like that is the fastest way. Oh, that's not the fastest way though, into the wall. Oh dear. Maybe a second loss there, and some momentum, some rhythm for the next part of the lap maybe as well. That opens out for this final little shimmy before the line. Right-hander, then another left, and then another right, and then we'll get to the line very soon. Not before another left-right. It really is just constant, this course. And there's the line. Over he goes. 153, and for Baschendorf that is 1.5 seconds slower, so very close actually between Andre and Baschendorf. But yeah, that mistake that we saw might have cost him in the end, to be fair. May have been the difference, because very, very close. Either way, this is the 184 of Malice George, or George Malice, as he's on the... Get his first and second names mixed up. A driver from Greece at the moment, and yeah, just under 600 brake horsepower for this car. But it is the heaviest that we do have here today. The Audi S1, by the way, is now going to be out on the course. I think this is, well, it's not quite on the course just for the moment, so we'll wait a moment. But when we do get that car on there, I'm going to go quiet for one hill climb, and you can hear that engine, because 778 horsepower doesn't sound bad. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him out on the course. It's going to be driven by Philotheos Argyro of Germany, and here we go. He's just rolling up towards the line now, and I'll be quiet. Just getting off at a practice start now, but I'll be quiet, enjoy this sound, enjoy this driving as well, because this is going to be brilliant. Oh no! Oh, into the wall! Oh, sorry to interrupt the lap there, but goodness me. This, I was told, by the way, reliably, that this car is the wildest that we have here tonight, and I can absolutely see why, because look at the wrestling But look at the wrestling that Philotheos Argyru is having to do right now. Goodness me, it really is a difficult car to control, and full respect to him for taking this on. He is the only driver in the field to be driving the Audi S1 in this race, or in this event, should I say. And he's doing a fantastic job of it right now. A couple of times have come across, by the way, while we've been on board. George Mallis has done a 36.6, and that's put him 1.4 seconds off of his class leader, Agios Andre. Also, Chris Bennett has been across the line as Argyru comes over the line, and it is the slowest time so far, but it's a 38.6, and we thoroughly enjoyed it, so a big thank you to him, because that was spectacular. Very, very entertaining indeed. Very enjoyable. Be on board. It's off the road, oh, well, into the wall, somebody. The 1, 2, 3. Angel Pelos. Lots of, as I mentioned, lots of Mitsubishi Evos in this one, and he's going to be hoping to get somewhere near Agios Andre's time of 35.2. Currently leading that class by 1.4 seconds. That's the E1 plus 2000 category. The Audi S1 also a part of that, but currently 5th place in it. Well, I guess 4th, because the Tatius driven by Chris Bennett is not really one of them, but he is matchable and comparable, in terms of times. That's the only car of that class actually in the race, by the way, in the event. I hope we'll be able to provide to you the correct mix of onboard and trackside cameras, because Hill Climb really is one of the most special events that you can go and watch in real life, or you just see that some of the trackside shots that you see on YouTube or wherever you get it. Makes your hair stand on end, really. So hopefully we can provide that mix for you, and I really appreciate what these guys do, because masters at work, you have to say. That Angelo Palau is about 3/4, a little bit further than that along the course right now. Getting a little bit more technical again, as you can see. The middle part you do get a little bit of speed up throughout that section, but yes, it does get a little bit more technical again as we get towards this section right now, but that's the final little open part, and then the turns come thick and fast. Not be far away now from the finish line. And there it is, over the line for the 1, 2, 3 car. And Angelo Palaus has done a 2-minute 56.8. I have to expect that there was a mistake involved in that lap time somewhere, which means that he's going to hope to do a little bit of a better one next time around. We go aboard again with the next car on the course, the 106. Andreas Vlaeus. Driving. Getting that done very well, actually, for that section. Very tricky, but expertly negotiated. Cars are setting off seemingly a little bit quicker now. A little bit quicker succession. As Frederic Tescher is also on the course. He is also driving a Mitsubishi Evo. You might be able to imagine. Many of these are. Andreas Velez has come over the line. Yeah, we're going to go on board with the 274 of Harris Cavaliers. Hopefully get this whole hill climb on board for you. Driving the Subaru Impreza WRX, excuse me. A turbocharged engine. 700 horsepower and 845 newton meters of torque, which is the most of any car we have on show here tonight. Oh, big slide and a hit on the wall with the rear end actually. Not an ideal start to the run for Gavalas. Frederic Teixeira is not too far in front, and these guys are both in the same class, by the way, so we'll be able to compare them. First of the real old ones just setting off now as well. Julien Delage in the Renault 8 Gordini is just setting off right now as well. He's in the Group H Special class, which Peter, who's on the production team for tonight's broadcast and all of the broadcasts here at TR24H, said that would be the one for him to chuck around, and they do look like good fun, but this was like pretty good fun as well. The Subaru at the moment being driven by Gavalas. Let's see where he'll get up to here. Frederic Teixeira's got into 10th place overall in the classification. The 2 minute 43.1, and not too far away from Aguirre Sandre, who seems to be leading that class at the moment, and looks like he's going to take that through the first run. But let's not forget, it's not about the best time that you can produce up the hill. Well, it is about the best time, but you need more than one best time. The best two will count out of the 3 runs that we have here tonight. Always something to be watching, excuse me, with a hill climb like this, and we're seeing that right now. That's what I really like about it. You can see all these cars in all their glory, and always something to be watching. These guys make their way up the hill. 6.6% all the way up. Oh, there's a spin around as well. Trying to get it back turned around. A flick spin for Gavalas, and that is not going to be a good time for him, I'm afraid. That's a real shame. It was going so well, and just a few corners from the end, Gavalas goes for a spin. The lap time is a 2 minute 52.1, and he's going to be a little bit disappointed with himself on that one, I'm afraid, but there are still 2 more runs to come. Here's Julien Delage, by the way, in the first of the Group H cars. We've got 34 cars on the server, by the way, which is plenty enough for us to be enjoying here tonight. And here is Julien Delage, as we mentioned, as part of the Italia racing team. And the number 201 by Carmelo Stagno. Trying to find him in the order right now, but I can't, so I just wonder if he's actually attending tonight or not. Every driver who does compete tonight does get a 1 point for competing, I believe. Anyway, that is the case. Delage has come over the line and put in a good time there. Got in ahead of a lot of the E1 plus 2000 cars. 10th place overall, he's got in ahead of Frederic Teixeira and Gavalas as well. Very good time. Now this is a spectacular car as well, isn't it? Number 120, driven by John Spider. Another Group H special car, the Fiat X19. An Alfa Romeo 2-litre E2 in engine inside and 320 horsepower, but it looks fantastic. Quite a small car, but I can imagine very nimble. Yeah, really enjoying the shots of this remote, sliding his way through that left-hander and tucking it in nicely actually to get a good run through the right-hand handle, which is important because there's a long open section coming up just after that. Well, he's got to slow it all down again. That's exactly what he does. Final parts of the course coming up right now, and very close to crossing the line. And he has done a line for John Spider, and it's 11th place just behind Julien Delage. As we go on board in cockpit view, we'll be going side by side in a moment because we're just going to have a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere though, because we will have more from the European Hill Climb Championship. Make sure you return after the break. We'll see you in a minute.
The Saint Jean Bougard Paul Saint-Pierre Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Leap Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Welcome back to the European Hill Climb Championship. First round from the Col Saint-Pierre. We've had the first round of times in from some of these guys, but we've still got a fair few to go. Ludovic Ferry is currently leading with a 2-minute 9.0. He's got 4.3 seconds over Sebastian Bernal. Mark Best is the other E2 SS3000 category car, and then in the E1 plus 2000 category, it's I guess Andre currently leading by 1.4 seconds-ish over George Mallis. And in Group H Special Class, which has just seen its first few times come in, Student Delage, who's currently leading by only well, less than 0.2 of a second in front of John Spider and Emin Tatal, who is very, very close by as well. Philip Raab is 0.8 back, so Leo Huat only 1.3 seconds behind, so very, very close in the Group H special class, and we're on board with another one of those drivers. This is Philip Gertner, the number 208 on Nolte Motorsport. Caught him very early on in the run, so it's just over halfway right now. Coming to the end of the high speed mid part of the lap, or not a lap, the run. Trying to really throw this car into all of the corners at the moment. And might be able to Aladdin. An Opel Kadett C, by the way, 370 horsepower from a 2.5 litre V4 engine, one of the smaller ones we've got from here tonight, and it weighs over 1,000 kilograms as well, but looks like good fun. I should say my favourite car to, or looks like to drive so far is, I'm trying to remember now, it looks like maybe the Renault looks like good fun from, certainly the Group H special cars look like fantastic fun to slide around. Or maybe the Mitsubishi Evo 4 in the E1 plus 2000 class as well. That doesn't look bad either. Oh dear. Whoa, yeah, it is a big accident, sorry, for 138. Leonardo Bartolini in the Renault 306 has just had a huge accident and he's rolling down the mountain at the moment. Oh dear, oh dear. And that is not the way you want to start your evening. Oh dear. He's returned back to the garage and he's not going to have a time for this first run. I don't know if that means a DNF for the entire week, entire event, or if it just means a DNF for that run. I'll have to get confirmation on that one for you, but that's not what you need, is it? Not what you need. We only had 19 drivers come across the line. And yeah, that's our first real big accident of the day, really. Certainly in the real runs, we've not seen that kind of accident in the past. But unfortunately, exactly what's happened. Leonardo Bartolini in the E1 2000 category. Driving the Peugeot 306 here today, but just fishing it out of the mountainside at the moment, and he'll be back for the second run, hopefully. We're currently watching the number 321 car, BMW 2002, on two wheels. Oh goodness me, and into the barriers. Or onto the bank, it's bank side almost, on the right hand side. Oh dear. And a big slide as well through that left-hander. Difficult to keep his car on the road as well. Coming up towards the end now, but been a little bit scruffy at the very end here for Nikos Sakinos. I don't know how to pronounce the name, I'm sorry. But yeah, been a difficult run so far. And he's actually the only person out on the course as things stand. Very close to the line. He gets into quite a long way up the order actually, compared to where he was before. 18th position. Jumps up in front of two people who beat him in qualifying. Waiting for the next driver to come up on the board onto the circuit here, onto the starting ramp. Not starting ramp, but you know what I mean. Crossing line. This is the word I was searching for. Waiting for the next car, but for the moment we don't have another car on the course. Not entirely sure why, but is another one of the Peugeots I've just gone on board with it. As, here we go. The Porsche 964 driven by George Vasilis. 22nd overall in qualifying. And, well, actually a little bit further up than that, but here he is on board. Another one of these Group H cars. Getting through the tight opening section at the moment. 410 horsepower for this car. And 380 newton meters of torque, but it does need it because it weighs 1,230 kilograms, which is tied the heaviest with three other cars. The Sierra RS Cosworth, the other Ford Escort Cosworth, excuse me, and the Subaru Impreza WRX STI is also tied the heaviest with all of these guys, or with this car, should I say. Lando Buster also supposed to be here driving a Porsche. I wasn't expecting two Porsches actually on the list here, but maybe there is supposed to be two. Not entirely sure, to be honest with you. But yes, we at least have George Vasilis out there at the moment. We're on board with him. A little bit of a joke going on between John and Leonardo Bartolini at the moment, who seems to be taking his recent excursion with a good sense of humour. Always good to see. He'll be back for the second two runs, but they really do matter, these second two runs for him now. You know, there's no insurance policy for him. It really is going to be, trying to get round at least to get a time on the board. Keeping it on the straight and narrow would be obviously a sensible choice at this stage, but hopefully he's able to do that. Final few corners now for George Vasilis in the Porsche. As he comes up towards the line, here it is. You can see it in front of you right now, and there's the car in all its glory as well. George Vasilis gets up into 18th place overall, just in front of Nikis Agneas. Not too far away, about 5 seconds away from the class leaders. Here's the Volkswagen Corrado, by the way. 2-litre inline 4 engine, 4-cylinder inline. Don't really know the right selection of words for that sentence, but yes, one of two drivers who are on the entry list as having one of the Corrados. This is David Kochev of Bulgaria. Got just over 300 horsepower to play with in this car right now. And he's actually the only person out there on the course. 23rd overall. In the E1 2000 class, by the way. Same class as Bartolini we saw earlier on. Not seen too many E1 2000 cars. We've seen some of the E1 Plus 2000 cars, which is a little bit different. That's what the Mitsubishi Evos, Subaru Imprezas and the like. Those guys we see in the mid-30s, 2-minute 30s in this, on this particular course. Currently being led by Aguirre Andre, but this is a different class completely. A lot less horsepower. This car actually has almost exactly half the horsepower of the Mitsubishi Evo that Andre drives. Definitely the closest category though, this one so far, is the Group H special class, and really looking forward to seeing how that one develops over the evening. Got Julian Delage and a number of others very close together. John Spider, Eric Tato, lip rub as well. They're all separated by really not very much. Here's Tachev though, in the very final couple of corners. This is the final right-hander before we will see finish line in front of him. And where's he going to jump up to? 17th position. Good lap time from him. 2 minute 47.4. That's another driver getting towards. Try and cycle towards him right now, but this is a bit of a palaver. One of the Renault Clios out there at the moment. Ivan Moro, I believe. But this is one of the Peugeots 306 Maxi. And we saw Bartolini crashing with a little bit early on. I'm going to go quiet for a couple of moments time. Let's have a look at this onboard. Oh, into the wall, and it seems to be the curse of the onboard, because just as we go on board with Maxime Jabat having the 100 and number 112 right in front of him, just clips the wall ever so slightly going through that right-hander. The road, by the way, I believe we've had an off for the 86 Renault Clio of Ivan Moro. He's been off the road because he's not set a time. Didn't see him. Well, I saw him stopped actually out there on the road, and that's not normally a good sign. Yeah, I think he may have had an off somewhere along the way. Still roughly 10 cars to go right now in this first round, but we've got 3 on the course right now. Maxime Jabat is the first of them. We've got Ito Legmenta driving in number 16, and Nick. Well, I'm not going to attempt that name for the moment. I'll try again later. But some difficult names at the moment. So I apologise if I offend anyone getting them wrong. Oh yeah, the number 16 on his lid at the moment, I'm afraid, and getting back the right way again, is he? Yes, and he just set off again in the number 16, but that's not ideal. Not ideal whatsoever. Here a bit, and understeering again into the barriers again. This is going to be one of the slower times, I'm afraid, as Maxime Jabat goes into 24th overall. One driver behind him, Angelo Palois. Yes. A couple of guys having a couple of incidents out there at the moment. But at least he's back going again here. The man we're looking at right now, Ito Legmenta. I've seen him in the chat actually already today, watching the stream. And I'm sure he's concentrating on the job at hand now, but I'm afraid lost the front part of the bodywork, certainly. Running a Fiat 131 above. Today he's gone for another spin. Oh dear. Reverses, and now the rear's gone. Oh no. The boot lid has gone off of that Fiat. And there's going to be a bit of repairing to do before the final, or the second runs we have here tonight. There's the finish line for him, and that's going to be a big relief. A 3 minute 21.8, but we know he can do a lot better than that. Oh, getting out of shape as well. The other Volkswagen Corrado of Nick Koksekidis. Excuse me. Once again, apologies for the pronunciations, but yeah, another one of these Corrados. 28th at the moment, based on qualifying. As Jean Pappas is not too far away from the start. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to drive or not. I'm not sure. Yes, he is going to drive actually in the number 60 Ford Sierra RS Cosworth. Pride with being the heaviest car in the entire field. And a cushion on the wall right at the very end, I'm afraid, for Koksekidis. He's over the line now, 3 minutes 16.5. And his fellow Corrado of David Tuchev, I'm going to try and find 17th overall, so a little bit of work to do in terms of that. There's another one coming up towards the start right now. This is John Pappas we're on board with right now. The owner of the European Hill Climb Championship you're seeing right now and organising everything, basically. Couple of drivers in front of him, Alex Schubert and Francesco Vassallo out there at the moment. But John Pappas off he sets. We're on board with him in nose cam. We'll stay on board for this whole hill climb. I'll let you hear the sound of this 2.2 litre Cosworth engine. You're going on board with John Pappas in the cockpit view at the moment, and it does look like that car is pretty heavily tilting in one direction, and I'm afraid it's the left-hand side. Car quite damaged in this one. And so, yeah, that Sierra Cosworth is limping around at the moment, really. Four more to come after this one, by the way. We've got Fernando Sanchez, another one of the Peugeot 306s. final one of those. We also have, we've just lost one of them. As I was speaking about them, I just lost one of them. Francisco Vasallo was on the course, however, he did have a pretty big accident out there, so that's a shame for him. He's not been able to get a time in alongside Bartolini, but everybody else has managed to get one in. And Bojan Sikovaki of Croatia is waiting to get going as well. Final part of the lap now for John Pappas, and he's the only person actually out there right now, so we'll have a couple more drivers, just two more, Sanchez and Sikovaki, and we'll be into the second round of runs for these guys. Over the line comes Pappas, and I'm afraid it's nearly 4 minutes. I'm sure he'll be looking to do a little bit better. And Ivan Moro is back, by the way, in the Renault Clio 86. I don't think he got a lap time in on the first attempt, so he is now back. We're waiting for Fernando Sanchez to leave and go up to the start line. Will be very shortly. Or will it? Not entirely sure. He may have already been and not got one in. I'm not entirely sure. Looks like we've entered. Yeah, we have restarted the warm-up session, so there you are. Four drivers weren't able to set times actually in that one, for whatever reason. So while we're setting up the grid for the next one, we'll take a quick commercial break, but on the other side we will have the second run for these guys on the Col Saint-Pierre. Don't go anywhere.
Saint-Pierre Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Leap Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor, or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Welcome back to the European Hill Climb Championship for 2021. The second runs are now underway with our leader Ludwig Furry on the course, and about a minute later Sebastian Ronat also leaves the start line, and he is also underway right now. We're on board and just enjoying the sheer speed of this Acela FA30. It is truly mind-boggling. Getting really close to the wall for that right-hander as well. This never-ending right-hander that doesn't really danger it at all throughout the corner, but goodness me, is it difficult. It's borderline scary for these guys going through. God knows what it's like in real life to feel that kind of speed and the bumps and the walls and trees and banks either side of you going past it. Frightening speeds. This could be a new best time for Ludwig Furry. Let's not forget the best 2 times from these 3 runs will count. But what's the... there's a bit of a touch on the wall on the right hand side, or the bank on the right hand side. What's the time going to be for Furry? It's a 2 minute 8.8, and that is 0.2 of a second faster than what he has managed before. Another driver in the Acela at the moment, Sebastian Ronat. Mark Best not too far behind. These prototypes are seriously scary though. These 3 are the only 3 drivers in the E2 SC SS3000 category here tonight. The fastest category we have on show at the European Hill Climb Championship. And the Acela seems to be the faster car at the moment. Ronat was 4.4 seconds off of Ferrut's pace through the first run. What's he going to be as he goes over the line right now? It's a 12.7. He does improve by 0.7 of a second, so he improves by more. But he has still lost time to Ludwig Furry, who's looking very good right now to be taking a win in round 1. Here's the Norma, the M20 FC. With behind Agios Andre also on the course. So there's a bit of hit on the wall actually there from Mark West. The 2 minute 23.0 on the last lap. On the first run, should I say. As you can tell, I'm very used to circuit race commentary. And I keep saying lap instead of run, but it's a 2 minute 21.0, a 2 second improvement from Mark Best, and he is the biggest improver from this first session. But Tobias Baschendorf gets up towards the line. He was 1.5 seconds off of Agios Andre on his first run. So we'll see what he can do this time as he leaves the start right now. Still watching Andreas. George Malais gets towards the start of his run right now. We're going to go on board with him. He's driving the Ford Escort Cosworth, 2.2 litre Cosworth engine, nearly 600 horsepower, heaviest car we have. He's on the way right now, and we're going to go on board for a run with him. Over the line then comes the Fords, and what's the time going to be? George Malais does it in a 36.8 as things stand, and that is currently last in the order. And what's that compared to what he did a little bit earlier on? He did a 36.6 before. He took a 36.8, which is a little bit slower than before, I'm afraid. So, bit of a shame to see that for him. A little bit wayward there, Chris Bennett, who is not really, well, he's not in the same category as the E1 Plus 2000 cars, but he is comparable in terms of the times. He did a 37.4 last time in the first run. It's the final right-hander. And what's the time going to be for him this time? It's a 38.3. I'm afraid he has gone a little bit slower as well. As we look at the Audi S1, everybody's favourite, Matthias Agaru also driving it. Wrestling it is probably more of an accurate description of what he's doing right now, because that is a beast of a car. And it is difficult to handle as well. Oh, a little bit hot. Oh, and a big crash. Into the wall he goes. Fortunately, he spins back around and he can get back going in the right direction, but it may not be the 38.6 that we saw last time around. So remarkable to see how different this car behaves and how different this car is in almost every way to Mitsubishi Evos that have gone before, and indeed the Tateus Formula Master car. Three different, completely different cars, but they're almost identical in terms of the hill climb. Up the course, their times are very, very close, and that's what makes hill climb so great. Over the line Comes Aguirre, and it's a 41-2, I'm afraid. A good 2 seconds and a bit slower than previous. Now, those are the main runners in the E1 plus 2000 category. Now we go down to the Group H Special category. This is Julian Delage, who I know I've seen in the YouTube chat a little bit earlier on. He set the best time in the opening round, but it was only by 0.2 of a second to John Spider, who was second, and he's just set off right now. Eric Tatal was third. Going to be a fantastic fight between these guys. Delage in the Renault 8 Gordini. And Spider is in the Fiat X19. And Eric Tatal is in the Simca Rally 3. So 3 different cars again, but separated by 0.2 of a second on the first run. Excuse me. Exceptionally close. Oh, it's a big rollover for Julian Delage. His second run does not go as well as his first. Just dipped a wheel to the inside, and now he has gone down the mountainside. Goodness me. Big drama for the Frenchman. Julian Delage, second run. Put a line through it because he's gone off the road. Just tried to cut that corner as much as possible by dipping a wheel on the inside, but I said a moment ago, or earlier on, I was in the wall. It's gone John Spider as well in the 120, so neither of these runs have been great. On the main protagonists in this Group 8 Special category, but earlier on that the cambers are a little bit strange in some places. It really dips into the entry of these corners. It's a very difficult course. And unfortunately the Renault has just rolled over into the bank. And that's the end of Julien Delage's second run, I'm afraid. He's going to be getting going again later on, but a lot of pressure on that final run for him now. It has to count. The best 2 runs from the 3 here tonight count. Oh, his inside wall just being hit as well by John Spider, who's not having the best of runs himself. Eric Tatal has got a chance of taking a provisional lead here in the Group 8 Special category. Spider and Tatal were only 200ths apart in the first run. Nothing to separate these two very different cars. Certainly my favourite looking of the 3. Here, X19. 320 horsepower, 880 kilograms, and being wrestled right now by John Spider. Here he comes through the final corner, sliding through as well. What's the time going to be? It's a 43.9 for John Spider. That's 1 second exactly lower than what he did before. So now it's over to Tatal in the number 10 Simca Rally 3. If this is a clean run, then he could well see himself provisionally at the top of the Group H Special standings. Things go wrong, of course. And he won't be. Let's see. Couple of corners to go. And a tight right-hander to end off the lap. There it is. And the finish line just in front of him. What's the time going to be for Eric Tatal? Over the line, and it's a 44.2. He's 3 tenths down on John Spider, so not quite as good as I was expecting from him. But he was really going to make a stranglehold of that, of those standings there, but didn't in the end. We on board with the 43 car. This is Leo Huart, also in the Group H Special category. Wasn't too far away in these first runs. Neither was Philip Raab, who's just in front on the road. He's just come over the line actually. He's gone faster. Philip Raab has gone 1.1 seconds faster. He was only 8 tenths down coming in, so if we were to count only the 2 runs at the moment, then he would be leading Excuse me, but obviously we're not doing that, and we're carrying on a little bit further. Oh, big slide! Oh, and into the wall! This is exactly where Julien Delarge went onto two wheels and crashed, but on the very corner before, Leo Hart is in the wall as well. Lots of drama going on in run 2. I feel like in the first run, people just wanted to get a time on the board at the very least to push in the final 2, and that's exactly what's happened. Delarge with no time, Quart with issues on his lap. John Spider was into the ditch and into the bank on his lap as well. I don't think Eric Tuttl's lap went according to plan either, because he was 3 tenths down on Spider's. Philip Raab seems to have done the best of those in the Group H special category through his second run. He was only in 4th or 5th really throughout the first run. All these times, by the way, will be added up and totted up after the end of the stream to give the official results, but I will be able to give you a provisional and unofficial standings really, because I have been noting down times, and I'll try and work out for you who's leading. But over the line comes Huart, and yeah, I'm afraid that that little accident we saw did cost him a little bit of time. Oh, the BMW is just heading towards the course. This is the 3-2-1. Being driven by Nikos Sagnias, and he's just setting off now. Well, it will be. We'll go for another run on board. Here it is, the BMW 2002, but the Col Saint-Pierre. Over the line for the fantastic sounding BMW 2000. Nikos Sagnias, excuse me, 17th position for him, just in front of Leo Huart on that particular time. Also a Group H, Karen celebrates with a spin going over the line. Really enjoyed that on board actually. The sound was immense coming from that BMW. Trying to find a car on the course at the moment, but I can't right now. I wonder if we've just cycled into the next session because it like it. I'm not entirely sure why. No, we didn't. But my mind's just playing tricks on me. We just don't have any drivers actually out there on the course. Not entirely sure why for the moment, but for some reason we do not. We did see this time around Leonardo Bartolini get around the course and get onto the finish line safe and sound this time. Not too far away from the likes of John Spider, Eric Tato. So, yeah, he did well. A lot of pressure on the final run for him though as well. Not quite sure as to what the delay is about right now. But yeah, we'll have some more cars out there on the circuit in a moment, and we do actually have a car, but I can't find them for the moment. In my order, it's quite difficult to find. Olive Tan is out there at the moment. I'm roughly halfway down the order. Trying to find it myself so I can see what we're looking at here, and here we go. Number 27. I'm driving one of the Opel GTE Psychos. Fantastic name for a car. Sure who came up with that, but no, it is fantastic, and it looks great as well. One of my favourites, certainly. Roaring its way around at the moment. Seeing Marcus Blassel get towards the starting line as well right now. He will be on the course soon. Didn't set a lap time in the first run. So he's hoping that things will go a little bit easier on this occasion. Here it is, final few corners for Olive Tan. There's a number of drivers actually out there at the moment. 4 cars on the run. And here we go, final corner for the 27. What lap time is this going to be for Olive Tan? Going to be right up there. 16th position for him, just behind Xavi Rodriguez in the Honda TCR car. Good lap time on the board for the Opel. Goes into the wall, goes to 65, not long set off here. Marcus Blassel, his first run of the day, and I'm afraid brush with the barriers already. Here is the nose cam, inches off of the ground, and you really do get a sense of speed from this camera angle. Very, very close to the banks, some of these sections that just turn right and left and allow you to straight line them slightly. Just kind of open itself up for disaster almost, but nicely negotiated at the moment from Blassel. Oh, that wasn't though, just a little bit of an early turn in and a late turn in there. A little bit too much speed. And into the bank again for the third time in 4 corners, I'm afraid, for Marcus Blassel. These courses really do require a lot of concentration, a lot of rhythm. When you get one corner wrong, the effect seems to snowball. It just seems to get worse. I think that's a little bit what we saw from Russell. He was, kissing the barriers and he's off! Into the trees goes Marcus Bussell, and that's a real shame. As I was saying, you just lose the momentum and lose the rhythm, and that's exactly what happened there. Unfortunate for Marcus Bussell now, who's not got a time on the board at all yet. Here's Ivan Moro, though, in the Renault Clio, coming up towards the final couple of corners. Bet this is great fun on a hill climb course. A little bit wanting for power, maybe. Only 300 horsepower, but great fun, I'd imagine. Renault Clio over the line and trying to see where it has got to in the order. Well, I can't for the moment. Sure why? I'm probably just being blind and I can't read it. Yes, I am. 21st position overall. There you are, just under 3 minutes ahead of the 2:08 car. Don't forget, if you want to have a look at some live timing, as there is a car off the road out there at the moment, it looks like. Volkswagen Peugeot 306, not the first of those cars we've seen off the road today, but Maxime Jabat, maybe that was off the road. We're on board with the Porsche 964 though, of George Vasilis. I know we had a cockpit view on board earlier, but another one can't hurt. Riding it out of the corner again. Not many more drivers to set a lap time now. For this second run. The first round of the European Hill Climb Championship for 2021. Heading up the Col Saint-Pierre in the Occitanie region of France. First of all, in 2 weeks' time, we head to Austria and the Rechberg. We'll be climbing to 900 metres and over on that day. Roughly the same length of course as well, I believe. I think it's roughly 5k. So we'll have all the stats and facts for you when that rolls around, and we'll have some full results to talk about from the first round as well. Standard FIA point scoring system in this one. 25 for first, 18 for second, 15 for third, and you know the rest. 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 1 for the top 10 in each class. So hopefully we can have some good championship fights to be getting on with when we finish in late November. Every 2 or 3 weeks we'll be bringing you here at GTR 24H European Hill Climb Championship event. I have to say, excellently well organised as well. Gone pretty much exactly to schedule. Not a single problem along the way. Yeah, a really big job by everybody behind the scenes, especially John Papas, who's organising everything right now. And yeah, big compliments to those guys. A pleasure to be talking over this right now, even though you'd rather, some of you at home would probably rather I didn't, because some of these engine noises are very nice indeed. Final couple of corners coming up, sharp right-hander as we've seen, and George Vasilis comes over the line now, gets into 21st position overall. That's a 2 minute 50.9, just in behind Leo Huart at the moment. Those guys both in the same class, fighting over positions. Here's one of the Mitsubishis. Strange to see one of these so far down in the running order. This is Andreas Valles. I'm afraid he's saucing a little bit further down the order in the running here. So his first run can't have gone to plan. We see these Mitsubishis often after the prototypes, really. but clearly the first run hasn't quite gone to plan. He is negotiating the end part of the course right now. There's the finish line. Where's he going to get up to? Going to be... Well, I can't read. I'll have to try and look up and down again for the order. 8th place, I'm being told. There we are. Just in behind Chris Bennett by 1.3 seconds. And he crashes over the line to celebrate. There you are. Number 19 there, not entirely sure where... on the start list. On the start line, excuse me. At the bottom of the order right now, number 19, Francesco Vassallo. Has not had a lap time in just yet. We're going to go on board with him for a run up the hill climb while you take a quick commercial break. We'll be watching these both at the same time though, don't worry, so don't go anywhere. We'll have some more running from the European Hill Climb Championship Round 1 on the Col Saint-Pierre in just a moment.
The St. Jean du Col Saint-Pierre Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Leap Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radio.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
Welcome back to the European Hill Climb Championship here from the Col Saint-Pierre in France. It's the first round here tonight, and we're coming to the end of the second round of times here. Just had another time on the board from another one of the Peugeots driving out there at the moment. We've had Leonardo Bartolini at the moment doing very well in 15th position for him. A little bit further down, Maxime Jabat in 26th, and also got Fernando Sanchez in there at 29th. Yeah, they're pretty cool cars, and we enjoyed watching those over the last couple of moments' time. I believe this is John Pappas now on the screen, on my screen. Anyway, 2 more times to come across the board, and we will be complete with the second run. And we'll get down to the grand finale of things, which is going to be very, very exciting indeed. Pappas goes into the wall and slightly goes off piece a little bit there, but back on the straight and narrow again. Gliding his way through that right-hander. Just the corner where Julien Delarge crashed earlier on today. He is currently with no time next to his name for this particular run. A lot of pressure on this final one coming up for him. Also a lot of pressure on, a lot of these guys really. It's very, very close in some of these classes. Ludovic Faruk just needs a clean run, and to be honest, he might even be able to not do the final run, and he still might be able to take the victory in the first hill climb of the season. Over the line has come Francesco Vassallo in the number 19. He has done a 5-minute 29.0, and that's not representative of what he can do, certainly. He's had a few mistakes on that lap. Final few corners coming up for John Pappas. Can't be far away from the finish line for him now. And indeed we're not. He's driving the Ford Sierra RS Cosworth 2.2 litre engine, nearly 600 horsepower and very heavy, 1,230, well, I'll say very heavy. It is the heaviest, quite heaviest on the entry list here for this season. So yeah, there's plenty of weight to it. Here's the final right-hander. You may be familiar with it by now. And there's the line. What's the time going to be for the man behind all the organisation for all this? 3 minute 47.4. It's over a minute and 20, over a minute and a half actually, down on Ludovic Faruk, who takes another session. In European Hill Climb Championship. So here it is, just transitioning again into the next one. We will be in a second, and yes, we'll be able to go for the final run here on the Col Saint-Pierre. Very much enjoyed this course actually. It's been a lot of fun. Still got another run of these guys to enjoy. Trying to get my timing screen and my old viewing thing in the right order. So things can go as well as possible. Don't forget you can access live timing as well if you're at home and trying to follow along with whatever I'm not talking about. Timing.gtr24h.org, and you'll be able to find it all there. We've got 32 cars connected to the server right now, and Ludovic Faruk is going to be the first of them to go out there for his final run. And finally we're going to try and get a view on board, a whole lap on board with Ludovic Faruk. on the stream for everyone to see, hopefully. He just pulls up to... Well, I should be pulling up to the thing now. I still can't get my cameras to work properly. It's going in slow motion. But I'm sure you can see him. You can't see him at home. He sets off right now. I'm bored with him, and just stand back for a moment. Because it really is something to behold. Not much left for Ludovic Ferru to do right now. He's leading comfortably in the first round of the European Hill Climb Championship. Looks set to be on his way to a victory on the Col Saint-Pierre. The 2-minute 9.0 in his first run, 2-minute 8.8 in his second. May be able to go even faster in his final run. He's certainly going to try to. The best 2 times that are taken for your overall tally, and then the points are dished out from there. It doesn't look like Ludovic Ferru has got anything to worry about. In the E2 SC SS3000 category, all 3 drivers improved on their first run times in the second run that we saw. Oh, it's a big crash! Ludovic Ferru in the wall, and it's not going to be a new best time for our likely winner of the event. Just turned in slightly too early, clipped the bank on the inside and goes straight into the outside. Well, as I mentioned, he's got a good 7 seconds over Sebastian Renat at the moment. Looks like the best time for Renat is going to need to be quite monumental for him to be able to take this climb from here. 2-minute 11.4 for Ludovic Ferru. Couldn't quite improve at the very end. Very, very close though, and a dramatic moment for the Frenchman. Looks like he's going to take victory though. Astonishing speed as well from Sebastian Renat. Very easy to say that these guys a little bit further back are, you know, poor drivers for being so far back, but just looking at it right now, he's taking the maximum and just over the maximum for that car. Down the bank he goes, and down the mountainside he goes. He looks like he's going to fling himself back onto the course, does he? Driving along at the moment through the trees, not able to do it. And I'm afraid that's it for him. Mark Best is also in the garage, so it looks like all 3 of our contenders in the top category have crashed on their final runs. A real shame to see. But it's now time to turn our attention to the E1 plus 2000 category, because it's very close between Agios Andrei, Tobias Bashadorf, George Mallis. They're all very, very close together. At the moment, the best times for Agios Andrei and Tobias Bashadorf are near identical. 34.8 from both of them. Bashadorf is going to be the second over the line. Agios Andrei the first. He's going to be first. He's already named the first. He's going to be before Bashadorf. Now, if these guys both ruin their final runs, then Agios Andrei is in a better place by 1.5 seconds. His first run was 1.5 seconds to the good of Bashadorf. Coming up towards the final few corners now is Agios Andrei. What's the time going to be? Is it going to be any better than the 34.8 he produced for us on the last lap? on the last run, on the second run we have here tonight. Here he comes, final corner for him, and up towards the line. It's gonna be a 2 minute 36.2. It's not quite as good. It's 1.5 seconds down for Agius Andre, excuse me. Tobias Bashadorf really now has the chance to get up the order. Agius Andre, that time is not going to count. The final run will not count. The Tobias needs better than a 2 minute 35.2. Over the line he goes. It's a 34.7. And Tobias Bashadorf at the moment is going to lead the E1 Plus 2000 category, with a few drivers still yet to run. George Mallis is out there at the moment. He's been very consistent so far. Only 0.2 of a second separate his two runs out here. He's driving the 184 Ford Escort Cosworth. Nearly 600 horsepower, 775 newton meters of torque. Very different to the Mitsubishi Evo, but equally fast. Well, not equally fast, but very fast. Definitely. Up towards the line he comes right now. What's the time going to be for him? It's a 38.5. That's not going to be enough for him, I'm afraid. It looks like Tobias Bashadorf may have this, depending. Oh, there's damage for the 106. Who's that out there at the moment? Andreas Valles has some problems. And our man in the Audi is also out there at the moment, by the way. Certainly my favourite car. And props to him for taking this on. Look at the way he has to wrestle the car through here. Every single corner is an absolute mountain to climb. Philotheos Argyro, the wonderful driver at the helm at the moment. Chris Bennett, by the way, over the line with a 37.6. That's going to count for him, but it's not going to be good enough to challenge those guys in the E1 Plus 2000 category. One of the guys we're comparing him against at the moment. This Audi produced a 2 minute 38.6 in the first run, and only a 41.2 in the second, but this looks like it's going a lot better, especially in the second half. See what the lap time's going to be for Agiru in the 2.14. Here's the final corner in the Audi S1 Quattro. Over the line he is going to go, and it's 5th place overall for the moment, a 37.7, and that's his best lap time of the day by 9/10 of a second. Going to please him greatly, I am sure. Next bit of interest, next bit of real interest that I absolutely cannot wait to see. It's already begun, actually. Julien Delage is on the course. Going into this, he's going to need a very good time. There's no question about that. John Spider also out there. Eric Tatol, sorry. Getting towards the start ramp. Very close in Group H though. The top four separated by 0.2 of a second in terms of their best time. And Leonardo Bartolini is not out of this either. He was a little bit further away in the Peugeot 306, and he's not actually in the same class, so maybe I should pardon that thought. But no, certainly he was right in there with these guys. You see where Delage comes over the line. You can't be far away. Well, actually, maybe you can. He's just over halfway in his lap right now. Delage set the best time in the opening run, and that's continued to be the best time in Group H. But let's not forget, a crash in the second run has really put the pressure on this final one. Pressure also on John Spider, who I'm watching right now, throw this car around. Eric Caton as well, he's there. Philip Ram, also with the best secondary time of any driver. If these guys were to all fail on their final lap times, which they're not going to do, but if they were, and he'll be in the best place by some margin. Julien Delarge now not too far away from the finish. He's going to set the benchmark for these guys. Give these a marker to flow at. It's a 42.1. He's got it a 42.2. 5 tenths quicker than his winning time in the first run. His best time in the first run was the best of everyone. He's also bettered himself in that one. Ryder is going to need a 41 if he wants to win the event. It's going to be so close though in this category. Here he is in the final corner. John Spider coming up towards the line right now. What is the lap time going to be? It's a 43.2, and I'm afraid that will count, but it won't be enough for him. It won't be enough for a Group H victory, excuse me. Philip Raab also out there at the moment. Wide in the car everywhere. What about Eric Tatel? Where is he? He's coming up towards the final couple of corners. But he's, well, is he going slowly? Or is this just a short interval between these two drivers? We'll find out in short order. Eric Tatel also needs a 41 here if he wants to take this, and it's a 43.5. It's not good enough, I'm afraid. It will count for him also. It's not good enough. Rob came in to this session 1/10 down on Delarge. He comes over the line right now. Can he improve enough? No, he can't. Philip Raab 1.1 seconds down on Julien Delarge, who looks like he's going to take the Group H victory. A fantastic final lap from the Frenchman in the Renault. In France. It couldn't be more perfect. And it looks like Delarge is going to take the Group H victory on the Col Saint-Pierre, taking a full 25 points with him in the championship. But that was very exciting to see in the Group H special category. Mark West also was just saying in the YouTube chat that he did indeed have an accident in the final run. So did Sebastian Rona, so we can line through both of those guys. The final run. Their lap times are set in stone. Going to be Ludovic Ferruc first, Sebastian Rona second, Mark Best third in the order. Could be subject to change. This is completely unofficial, by the way. I'm just working it out myself, and we'll update you with the official results at the start of the next race on the Rechberg in Austria. That's in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, we look forward to that greatly, but at the moment we don't have official results, and it's difficult to work these things out straight away, as you might be able to imagine. It's a little bit complicated. We're on board with Bartolini at the moment, though. Or I am, anyway, in the Peugeot. It's getting a little bit wide into that bank there, but great to see him out there right now, doing well. He's in the E1 2000 category. 310 horsepower in that car, 980 kilograms. Only a 2-litre engine, but it looks like great fun. And it's a pretty cool car as well, just looking at it from the outside there. I've got a feeling that car, or a very similar car, has been used in the World Rally Championship for Peugeot. It looks a bit familiar in that respect, but around the final corner, he's actually catching somebody here in one of the Opels, I think that is. Bartolini over the line. And he does a 35.8. Not too far behind, actually only half a tenth behind Xavi Rodriguez. Spanish driver who's in a Honda TCR car this weekend for this tonight's race. And yeah, those two very evenly matched. David Tachev at the moment in the Volkswagen Corrado. He's out there on the course. Olive Tan also. Nikias Saxnias. all out there at the moment. As mentioned, still a good 31 cars on the server still. Wait for these final times to be coming in. Sebastian Rodda and Mark Best are the only two DNFs so far in this final run. Other than that, it's been a very, very clean final run for all of these guys. Not least for Tachev, Bulgarian driver in the E1 2000 category. Almost identical characteristics to the Peugeot we were looking at a moment ago, 310 horsepower as well. 2-litre engine. Weighs a little bit less by 100 kilograms, 880 kilograms for the Corrado. I quite like the look of this car as well, to be fair. There's not many bad looking cars on this grid. And yeah, it's great to see. Cars setting off and coming across the line thick and fast at the moment, so apologies we haven't seen too much of all of them here tonight. We'd like to get a bit more of a view on that on the Honda TCR car driven by Javi Rodriguez today. He's been out there in the E1 2000 category, and apologies for not getting more of that on camera. Also would have liked to see more of the Renault Clio, but here it is now, the number 86. Ivan Moro driving this car at the moment. Also a 2-litre engine, 300 horsepower, 880 kilograms. Very similar cars in terms of the characteristics in the E1 2000 category. Over the line goes the number 86. Comes up the order, Ivan Moro, 2 minute 58.8. And that will give him 21st position as things stand. Alright. Another onboard coming up for you. It looks like one of the fours heading towards the line. Number 32, I think this is Alex Schubert. Just about to set off. In the Ford Escort Cosworth. 2.2 litre Cosworth engine, and he's off at the moment. So we'll have a look at him now. Just under 600 horsepower, 75 newton meters of torque, and all of this sound to enjoy. We'll go on board for a couple of moments with Schubert. Oh. Strange moment, yeah, but car back in the pit lane for Alex Schubert. So I was just writing down some notes for the final order, but yeah, I don't know, that might be the final cars coming across the line right now. I believe that may well be the case, but just in case there isn't, we'll just take a quick commercial break now, come back, and then I'll give you some very unofficial results to hopefully give you a bit of an idea about who is where after tonight, and then we'll round off the stream. So don't go anywhere, we'll be back with some unofficial results in a couple of moments.
The St. Jean Boudard Call Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Leap Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.
Welcome back to the European Hill Climb Championship 2021, where our first round is very, very nearly complete. Izu Lagumeta is out there at the moment in the number 16, and in the number 28, Peugeot 306, excuse me. Fernando Sanchez has just set off as well for his final run of this evening. So as you're enjoying those, trackside cameras and onboards, of course, Meta just comes over the line right now, 3 minutes 17.9. Did have an issue on his lap very recently, and she is also out there right now. in the Peugeot. But yeah, kind of give you a bit of an idea about who's where after tonight and some unofficial results after what's been a good 3 hours of hill climbing now, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, I have to say. I really have. First time I've ever commentated on a hill climb event, you might be able to tell. But no, I've really enjoyed it. Always something going on, always something to watch, and yeah, it's been a fantastic course here on the Col Saint-Pierre. I'm looking forward to the Rechberg in 2 weeks' time. But let's just recap what's gone on throughout the last 2 hours and a half, 3 hours. In the top category, E2 SC SS3000 category, with the Norma M20 FC and the Arcella FA30. I believe that Ludovic Ferry is going to be the victor of that class, ahead of Sebastian Ronner and Mark Best. Those three were the only participants here today in that class, and they all did a fantastic job. Finishing 1, 2, 3 in that order, I believe. In the E1 Plus 2000 category, it was a bit of a battle between the Mitsubishi Evo and the Subaru Impreza as well. We saw out there, as well as a number of others. Actually, the Ford Sierra RS Cosworth has been out there for John Pappas, who might be going out there again soon, and also for George Mallett, the Ford Escort Cosworth, which he's been driving. He's managed to take home third today, I believe. The winner, I believe, is going to be Tobias Baschendorf, and in the end, by a very, very close margin, his lap times are 34.8 and a 34.7, very consistent, just about beats out by 5/10 of a second Andre, let's get this right, Agios Andre, excuse me, of the 137 car. He's going to be second. I believe George Mallis is going to be third, ahead of, well, he's not really in the same class as those guys, but Chris Bennett, I think, is going to be fourth. In that kind of grouping, and the Audi S1 of Philotheos Argyru is going to be in fifth of those guys. He's an E1 Plus 2000 car as well. And in the Group H special category, it's been a really quite special event for those guys. Really, really interesting to see those kind of older cars. Julien Delage, who I've just seen in the YouTube chat, by the way, thank you as well, and we thank you for the driving. It's been great to watch from him. Yeah, Julien Delage, I believe, is going to be taking home the victory. A 42.7 and a 42.2 may well be enough to see him through the day by 1.2 seconds in the end, I believe, to Philippe Rabb, who's going to be second. Third place is going to be John Spider with a 42.9 and a 43.3. He just misses out on second by 1/10 of a second, and Eric Tatol, so excuse me, is going to be in fourth place by just 2/10 of a second behind Spider, so very, very close. Those top four cars separated by less than 2 seconds, and I believe that Leonardo Bartolini would have been in there as well. He was a little bit further down, but and also in a different category, which I keep forgetting. No, he was right up there as well. Very much a big thank you to all of the drivers who have driven along the courses today. We still have one out there, Alex Schuber, trying again. He's out there, and I think this is the second time I've seen him on his third run, so I don't know, but he's still out there at the moment. It's been absolutely fantastic to have all of you, the drivers, in here today. I've really enjoyed this for the last 3 hours or so. So a big thank you to those guys. A big thank you to all the organisation behind the scenes as well, who've done a fantastic job of making this event run very, very smoothly indeed, and it's run pretty much without issues throughout the entire time, and it's been enjoyable for all. So a big thank you to those guys as well. Last of all, a big thank you to all the viewers as well who have been tuning in and out here tonight. It's been great to have your company, and I hope you'll join us in a couple of weeks' time, where we'll be back at the same time and in the same place with the second round of the European Hill Climb Championship for 2021. That will be on the Rechberg in Austria, roughly 5 kilometres as well, finishing at nearly 1,000 metres. Looking forward to that hill climb as well. But that's all from us here at GTR 24H for this particular race. I hope you've enjoyed our broadcast here tonight. Make sure you join us at a couple of weeks' time, where we'll be going racing again for the second round of the European Hill Climb Championship in 2021. But for now, it's goodbye.
Saint Jean du Gard Col Saint Pierre Hill Climb is presented in partnership with Viper Gaming by Patriot, Elite Gaming, ESTV, and AMD Ryzen Radeon.
Racing for Green is here to help you carbon neutralize your racing. By planting new trees, Racing for Green offers to make your racing carbon neutral. We already have the calculations, contacts, infrastructure, deals and solutions ready for you to easily buy carbon neutral laps on any racetrack. It doesn't matter if you are a racing fan, team owner, driver, sponsor or partner. Anyone can buy CO2 neutral laps in the Racing for Green webshop and trade CO2 emissions for New Forest. Racing for Green.
A 1v2 for the tournament. Pressure is on.